So then, hello everyone and a very warm welcome to you as you join me once again for another live stream from my channel Hybrid Chem Mod Railway. Today's stream topic, as you can probably guess by the fact we're at the servicing bench, and of course if you've read the title and the description, is that we are doing a servicing stream. And in the description it basically says what we're going to be doing is for the next few weeks is servicing all my model locos. So from today until however many weeks it takes us to get through all of my locos and service them all and fix any things that are wrong with them, and that's how many weeks we're going to be doing streams. So if it takes 2 streams, we'll do 2 streams of fixing. If it takes 7 streams to get through all my locos, we will do 7 streams. It's just basically an excuse for me to have a little bit of a break from the usual chaos of running streams and sit down and do some servicing and have more of a chance to actually talk with the live chat, which of course I do in regular streams, but when we're servicing it's a lot better. You won't today have the opportunity to put your requests in and get the chance to see what you want to see on the layout, simply because my workbench is covering all my drawers and it's just far too much hassle to be bouncing between the two. However, we will be live today until about 6 o'clock, the usual time, so there is plenty of time for discussions, and of course we'll get hopefully through 3 or 4 locos and get them all serviced up. So I will roll the intro to get this stream underway, and I'll see you in about 12 seconds. So do enjoy the stream, everyone. So, first of all, well, I should actually do this, shouldn't I? So, to kick off the stream, here's my... Which camera's better? Here's my drink of choice. We've got it in a thermos because it's a hot drink today, and I've got tea. So, that is the beverage of choice, so we can start the stream. Now I've announced the drink, I'll have a quick slurp. That is good tea. So, to start off with, we'll do Tornado, and we shall just see overall how many engines we can get through today. So we've got this camera looking down from the side, and we've also got the camera looking down from above as well. I'll switch between the two throughout the stream. So first of all, I think we should look at the tender, which admittedly is not something I normally look at, but because there is quite a bit of stuff lodged into it, I think I will take a look at the tender. We may as well be thorough. There's no DCC socket inside or any pickups or anything like that. It is literally just a base keeper plate that I think just holds all the axles in. So we shall take a look. That screwdriver doesn't fit in that screw for whatever reason. I will try and show you what we're doing, but it is difficult, of course. That screwdriver won't fit either. Why do none of my screwdrivers fit? That one fit? Oh, because it's stripped, that's why. Right. Let's see. Flat head. Will that fit? No, that one won't. That one won't. That one won't. So already we're running into problems. Will that bridge the gap? Feels like it. Yes, there we go. Must have come pre-stripped, that screw, because I haven't had that screw out before. Where did that come from? That came from there. So, hopefully, if I remove the NEM coupling, we should now just be able to prise it out and lift the thing off. Does it work like that? No, because that one needs to come out. That screwdriver's too big. That screwdriver is too big. I'm going to try and get the best camera. So that screw there needs to come out now. I really should have got my screwdriver set out for this instead of rummaging through all these screwdrivers, but whatever, it is inconsequential. That screw can come out, and hopefully all of this will just lift off so I can get to the wheels. Yes, there we go. So that is lifting off. Seems to be a bit stuck around the back axle. I don't really want to lift that too much, because if it doesn't come off, that could be a problem. I can see a screw re-screw. Oh, chucking stuff about. I can see a screw recessed in here, so we'll take that one out. There's just a hole down there, look. We'll take that off, and yeah, the whole thing's coming out now. That's good. Good job I didn't force that. So, oh, alright, the whole thing's come off then. Oh, that's good. Right, so that's the inside of the tender. Nothing in there we need to do with that. I may give it a little bit of a dust with the paintbrush. Whatever that's gone. There it is. We'll just get some of the dust that's on top off. There isn't a lot, but just in some of the nooks and crannies there is a little bit of dust. Right, there we go. I must remember to keep tidying up after myself, because enjoying these streams, it's always a little bit of a pain to keep tidying up when I've done one. So sponge, that can go back over there. So that's the tender top done with. Now we'll have a look underneath. So this should just lift off, which it has, and that's got a fair bit of oil on it. So cotton buds, and we'll get mopping up. I've got a bag down here to put all my rubbish in. It's quite full, to be honest, but that's where it'll go, because I'm sick of emptying the tiny little coffee can I'm using as a bin. I've just realised I haven't locked the bench wheels in place. Oh well. So we'll use the stem of the cotton bud to get in there, which will do a fine job because there isn't a lot of oil. That's that mopped up. And now the base, which we will take the wheels out one by one and put them back in the same order. It's because the wear on the wheels will correspond with obviously the wear inside as well. So a few bits of gunk in here that I'm aware you won't be able to see, but I can. That bit's out. Good. That's all that out the bottom. Right, clean the wheels next. Keep forgetting where my cotton buds are. They're in a different location today. So, rub around the axles. I might clean the surface of the wheels. In fact, I will clean the surface of the wheels as well. We have been thorough, aren't we? So we'll give the axles a quick going over initially. In fact, we'll just clean the axles, because they will just be oily and they don't pick up power or anything like that. So we'll just get the oil off the axles, because they're not really that important. It's just stopping it all getting gunked up inside. And then we will get T-cups. Here we go. Big bottle of T-cup, yes, you can see that. And we will clean the wheels. I'm not using the rotary tool for this because that's a bit aggressive for these modern wheels, and they're really not overly dirty like some old Triumph ones are, or double O if we're going that far back. And we'll give those a polish, because they do contribute to getting dirt on the track. Bench is shaking, not to worry. That's that one done. Blow to get all the excess T cut off, get it from the spokes. Now the other wheel. This may take some time actually, we've got 8 wheels to do. At least on the on the loco, we can actually have powered cleaning. I think these look dirtier than they are because there's just the black, sort of blackish track mark in the middle where the wheels have just been on the track, so it's sort of worn through it slightly. So I think they're actually a lot cleaner than they look. And I'm going to need my towel because my hands are going to get absolutely covered in teacups. And my bench, for that matter. That's those two done. Probably could do these on my towel, but meh. Might be too dark for you to see them. So, teacup around the outside. Polish. Which is the one we've just done? That one, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, that's quite a big blob. Let's get rid of some of that. And it's gone all over my finger. So the reason why I'm doing these streams is, to be honest, because in the week I either can't be bothered to do, you know, just sit here for, you know, hours on end and service stuff. Or because I'm busy, whereas I'm always free at the weekend, and I thought, well, you know, I'll turn it into a stream, and if people want to watch, they can. If some people don't, that's not a problem. But it's just... Oh, somebody's just emptied the bin. That's not thunder. Just gives me a chance to sit down, talk to you a lot, and of course get some locos done at the same time. So that's the reason why, basically. These wheels don't need to go in any specific way around because they're not picking up power, they're not insulated or uninsulated like some of the Hornby ones are. These wheels look particularly nasty for whatever reason. What I may be tempted to do is actually just start cutting the end off like that so I don't get tea cut all over the other end of my hand. I would get my small snips out for that, but they're under the bench and something else is on top of them, so I use them because they're there. And I don't really use them big snips, except for really heavy duty stuff. E.g. more than just cutting bits of random stuff. Small gauge wires that I use up here. These wheels are absolutely filthy. A lot of black crud on them. T-Cut does do a good job. Really good job on commutators as well, which I don't know if we'll get a chance to get onto a engine that has an exposed commutator, e.g. a serviceable motor, rather than the sealed ones today, but rest assured if we do, we will be using T-Cut on it. Must remember to get all the T-Cut off because it does dry white and it may attack some plastics, so we don't want that. That wheel's done. Now this wheel, which I'll keep in my hand so we don't forget which one we've already done. Plenty on these. I don't know why these are more dirty than the other ones. Again, I'll snip the end off. There we go. Must remember to get right into where the flange is, and thankfully the cotton bud is overlapping onto the flange, so I don't have to worry about cleaning the flange specially. Somebody's just shouted "Wahey" from downstairs, and there was a lot of thudding, so I presume that means my dad's in the garage playing darts and he's got 180 or 140 or something like that. And he's just clapped his hands, so yeah, he's probably got 180. You always know when somebody's got 180. Oh yeah, he's just shut the garage door now as well. That's my dad getting 180. Round of applause, please. I haven't got a 180 yet, sadly. It's not even that he was playing a game of darts. When we go into the garage to get like vegetables for Sunday lunch, which is effectively what we're, well, not effectively, is what we're having today. Or they go in to get a can of lager or something. We often, or whoever's going in, often just chucks a few darts at the board for a laugh. My dad has probably just got home from work and he will be putting his lunchbox and bag in the garage, so he's probably thrown a few. And he's probably got 180, so good for him. That's that. Whoa! Let me make sure we're doing the right wheel. That wheel on the left. I think you can see this okay, can't you? Yeah, you can. Just when I've got all the stuff up the loft I need to have for servicing, e.g. all my tools, there isn't perfect places to put the tripods, but I try my best. And if I zoom the cameras in, they just become all pixelated and blurry and horrible, so we shall put up with this. Oh, excuse me. So, let's clean this off. That's all the tender wheels done. Is this all clean? Yeah, that's all clean. There's nothing really we can do in there. We've already got all the oil out of it. So, right, we can start putting stuff back together. I think I've already mixed up which way the wheels were. A bit of fluff from the cotton bud there. So, drop you in there. You in there. You in there. Big bit of fluff, you can go. They all run freely. Now we'll have a tiny spot of oil. Reaches under bench for oil. Now don't be concerned that I'm putting a let's switch to the camera. I've got a massive tub of oil. I'm only going to put a very, very, very small amount on each axle. Just where the it sits in the plastic. That was too much. Let's not use that. Let's use my oiling pen that I bought specifically to use for this. I was going to use that until I realised it just sits into little tiny supports at either end. It's not like a full-length trough that it sits into. So we'll try that again with oiling pen. I think I need a new one. This one's threads are a bit loose on it. Give it a shake and get a blob of oil to the end. Just stops this wearing out the plastic so much. And just make sure they run freely, which they do anyway. But yeah, so this is the tender nearly done. Where is the keeper plate? Oh, and a thing has fallen off. One of the tender brake things. not that camera, this camera. So I'll have to super glue that back on. There's a load of fixes and fittings from Floriat Salopia, the class 31, that need to be glued on, but we haven't got any super glue at the moment, so I've only got resin, so I'll have to wait until we get some. I think that one's been loose for a while. Not to worry, you can't really tell it's broken off. I don't know why they make the plastic so thin, just make it out of metal. You can be as careful with this as you like, but things will still fall off. So, there's the post there, there's the post inside there, so that goes on that way. Get the clip in at the front. Good. Long screw down that hole. Tighten that up. Is it tightening up? Yeah, it has done. Then we want 2 screws with... What screwdriver was that one? Is this the stripped one? I guess we'll find out. Yeah, that's the stripped one, so we'll have to get the other screwdriver for that. So that one can go in there. And then that green one we used for that one there, didn't we? That just goes across. Shame that that's stripped, but I can't really do much about it. It's not me that's done it. This was second hand, maybe even third hand when I bought it, so nothing I can do about it. So we'll get the bar the right way around. Not that it has a right way around, you can just see where the screw has made a sort of imprint on it where it's been before. Red screwdriver, oh god. Red screwdriver. This may be a bit of a faff to get in. Because, no. This is going to be very annoying to get in. Let's go to the other camera. Right. This may be the most difficult thing we do today, getting this in here. It's looking that way, isn't it? Scooby2142 has joined the chat and said, hi George, how are you? I'm very good, thanks Scooby. Or at least I will be when I manage to get this screw in here. Which I can barely see, so I'm sorry, but you're not going to see it. I go on, if I can just get it through a few threads in. Yes, there we go. It's in! But yeah, I'm very good, thanks Scooby. Are you okay? Thank you for joining. Bit of servicing today, as you can tell. I think this screw's got some unthreaded parts, so yeah, no matter how tight I put that in, that's still gonna move about like that. So that's Tornado's tender done. Now we move on to the beast itself. Well, I think the actual real life Tornado has I think she's... What's up with her at the moment? Oh, she's got wheel flaps, hasn't she? That's what's up with her at the moment. So, 1 screw at the front underneath the bogie. This is always a little bit of a pain because this coupling can get stuck. There we go. Get that back the right way around. And there's some wiring to repair on this Tornado, which I've been meaning to do for ages. So, if I'm not mistaken, this should now just lift off. I do need a new body for this Tornado because it's got some brown paint on it from somewhere, and then also I've had to glue the cab support, the cab window frame back in because that fell off, and one of the smoke deflectors is a bit loose. I think a lot of parts were loose when I got it as well, so, you know, it's a bit of a shame, but it should only be about maybe 5–10 quid for a new body. Slurp of tea. And I'll put both cameras on for a bit. This is from when... This is from ages ago, I think, when I might have been servicing it. I put this little bit of brown tape on the flywheel so you could see when it was rotating. Did that a while ago. So we've got some wiring to repair in here because I'm really not happy with the current state of it, and it looks, to be frank, terrible. So, do we sort the wiring first or do we do the pickups? We'll do the pickups first, because the wiring, I guess, is the most interesting part, if you can call it that. Screwdriver. So I did replace these pickups because the last time I serviced this, that's in quite tight. The last time I serviced this, I didn't assemble, or wasn't careful enough to check that the pickups were in place properly, and some of them got caught through the spokes of the wheels and snapped off. So I do need to be careful of that. I don't know where my magnets are, so we're going to remagnetise these screwdrivers because they don't pick screws up. I'm going to have to... Oh, I can't. The camera's on it. Oh well, never mind. Oh, in fact, actually, I do have a magnet somewhere in one of these jars. That'll probably do it. Right. Let's delve into my jar. There is a magnet in here somewhere I can use. A pretty strong neodymium one as well. Oh, there we are. While we're on the subject, that was Tornado's old pickup plate. All the pickups snagged and snapped off, and yeah. Where is that magnet that's in here? Probably stuck to a load of other things. My workbench is in an absolute state now. There's some Trion Class 30. Oh, why did I put them in there? I found the actual magnets that came with those precision screwdrivers. Why did I put them in there? That was a bit stupid. Right, now to tidy up. This is not going to be fun. Bits everywhere. That's another bit of Tornado's pickup. Snagged bit. Pickup plate from an 040 there. Other base keeper plate for Tornado, which he got in with the pickups. Capacitor. Loads of old Trion motor screws. I don't really want to snap that base keeper. Why do I tidy things away? Because by tidying things away, they don't actually get tidied away. They just get jammed into a jar like that. Anyway, right, found the magnets from the screwdrivers. Because, where's the screwdriver I'm using? You can see there's a dimple in the top. So you stick it in there, I presume, twiddle it round like that, and now it should pick up that screw like that. So I don't know why I put them in there, because I use them magnets quite a lot. It was a bit stupid. Oh, I've left the old Tornado pickups out. Let's put them back. They can be broken. Not being carefully because they already are broken. Right, swiftly moving on. All these screws are in really tight. I might need a bigger screwdriver. No, why don't I have any screwdrivers that fit the screws that I need? Does this one fit? Yes, it does. Is this one magnetised? No, let's magnetise it. If it's a magnetisable screwdriver, it should be. Nope, doesn't seem to be. I'm alright faff with screwdrivers today. I do know the difference. Well, it's apparently obvious the difference between the body holding screws and the base keeper holding ones, because the base keeper holding ones are more flat. So I know which one's which. So sponge is just going to interfere now. No, it's not actually. Make your mind up. So initial base keeper off, and there's the pickups there themselves. Chuck that over there. So I'm going to have to lift them up, and yeah, they do look quite dirty. So we'll get the T-cut out again. Be very careful because I don't want to get T-cut between the spokes of these wheels, because there is a lot more. We'll get the soldering iron on, because we will be soldering in a few moments. So if we just put a tiny little bit of T-cut on the ends, and then just give that a quick wipe off. That should clean them nicely. Try not to snap the pickups because they are incredibly fragile. We only need a tiny spot. And they're clean. Last two, which are a bit more annoying because we are constrained by the wires. Yeah, that is going to be quite annoying. That one's bending about all over the place. I do not want to snap that. Alright. I don't know why they make them so fragile. There's a difference between making them triangle thick and this thick. Come on, this plate's really annoying. I don't really want to have to desolder it. I mean, I'm going to be desoldering it later, but not enough to actually have to take this out. I don't know why they can't make these spring-loaded, unless this was before the spring-loaded era, but this is very annoying. I can't really pull the wheels out either that far. I have to fish it out. Oh great, it's got stuck in the wheel spokes. Yep, that's slightly broken. Stupid design. That's broke off now because it got stuck, which I can't help. But they needed cleaning, so I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, cleaned as best as it should. Is going to be. Right, now I've got to get that out of the way while I have a look at the axles. I don't need T-cut on. Why have I put T-cut on the end of it? That's daft. They don't really need cleaning, these axles, because they're... well, with T-cut anyway, because they don't pick up power. It's just to, you know, get some fresh oil on them, really. So a bit mop up of oil. We'll put all the bearings back in one later, because like that will just lift out. Good to see that it has got bearings, though. Particular big one for the middle axle, where we've got that driven gear, driven axle. So that's good. Get in there. Get in there. And the front one, we'll try to get in there because we are sort of limited by the valve gear. That's alright, I'm happy with that. So, wheels back in, so we need to separate those bearings because they've stuck to each other. Drop you in. Guide you out of the way. I can smell the soldering iron, which sounds weird, but you can. How has this managed to get twisted like that? That's confusing. Right, that's you in. That's you in. That's a quite small bearing there, but then we've got the other big one, so that's fine. Separate you two. On the way you can't see this, but I can barely see it, so... Right, gently ease you in. Nope, it's got stuck in the spokes again. Poke you out. See, look, they're so flimsy, they just stick through the wheels. This is really, really, really where they needed spring-loaded contacts. And used thicker pickups, because this is ridiculous. See, all the others are in fine. That one's on the back of the wheel, back of the wheel, back of the wheel. It's always the back two that gets stuck. You're sorted. There's just this one here. But I don't have to worry about breaking because it's already broken thanks to how ridiculous the design is. There we go. How ridiculous was that? Absolutely ridiculous design. I've just got to bend it out of the way so it doesn't clack against the wheel now, because it's just absolutely shot to pieces. You know, I'm going to cut it off because it's not even contacting the wheel at this point. Let me get my small snips out. It's not even contacting the wheel at this point. Maybe better not taking the pickups off at all, but it needed doing. If we're servicing it, which you should do routinely, then it needs dismantling and everything needs looking at. So, yeah, that pickup's poking through the wheel now that I thought I'd taken out, but clearly haven't. Oh great, they've all come out now. Is that one touching the wheel? That one's touching the wheel. They're not stuck. That's not stuck. That's not stuck. Let's cut that one off there because that's just going to be a nuisance. If we can get in with the snips. Lo and behold, we can't, so it's going to have to come out again. That's really annoying, is that, you know? Irritating design. I'm not annoyed because I've broken it, because literally I couldn't get at it. That's gone. So that's 5 out of 6 pickups now, but there were 3 or 4 broken when I had to replace it. So hate designs like this. It's ridiculous. Spring loaded, bigger. I don't know why they have to make them so spindly. It's ridiculous. And now the nub ends in the way. Let's bend you out of the way. Yeah, that's alright. Right, now, I'm happy with those. I'm happy with the axles. The bearings are all seated properly. None of the pickups are stuck in the wheels. So, get them screws back in before anything else can go wrong. That base keeper won't sit flat now. Why? Sit flat, please. Get that out of the way. Get the screws in. Where's the screwdriver? There we go. Oh good, now we've got the screws in it sitting flat. I was concerned for a minute then. Just needed the screws in. That's good. I won't put any oil under there because there was plenty in. Probably slightly too much in. Just mopping up the excess that had got in from the gear chain really. And I'm not going to put oil on that gear there, I'll put it on the gear train that's up here. Right, that's that done. So, up on top now, we need to do some wiring, which will be better on that camera. So, let's see, all this wiring is an absolute mess, to be honest. It just kind of needs replacing. Several bits of it are just burnt. Several bits of it just look terrible. The wiring from the pickups doesn't need replacing because obviously that was new when I replaced the pickups. So what colour wires have we got? I've got loads of SCART wire in that tub I've just got out. So we've got black and red. We've got plenty of red wire. These are out of an old SCART lead from my grandma and granddad's. In fact, I think I had 2. And then we're going to throw it away. But I said, oh no, don't throw it away. So I'll have the wire out of it. The wire out of a SCART lead. It's brilliant. It's very fine wire. Very fine wire. But it's relatively, all you have to do is cut open the end of the SCART lead with a pair of snips. And then you just extract all the wire out from the inside, pull the insulation off. Probably only took me 5 minutes to do 2. So we've got grey and we've got red, because I think I've used all the black, because obviously black and red are the, you know, normal things you'd use for DC. Another slurp of tea. Absolutely and warm. So, we need to get all the old stuff off. We need to keep the capacitor on, and it's not really that necessary, but for the sake of being, you know, having random stuff nearby causing interference with it, we'll take it off. Capacitor obviously goes across the load. Wires run onto the top of the capacitor as well. So if we heat that capacitor leg up and then stick it in the brass wool, it should get all the excess solar off, which it has done. So black goes to top, red goes to bottom, same way round on the capacitor, which is just there. So we should be able to now whip this circuit board off. Desk is getting quite messy, bench is getting quite messy. We'll pull the DCC decoder off, blanking plate I should say. Screws that hold the blanking plate are coming out. Now we just need to take note of where things are wired. So we had black there. Red went to the bottom of the capacitor. That one went to the capacitor. That one went to the motor. So if we replace one at a time, we'll take that one off there. This Tornado's, well, yeah, the chassis is never going to be sold to anyone else. The body, of course, will be replaced and thrown away, as I've already said. So that's that wire off. So this is the capacitor wire, the shorter one. So we'll get black, we'll get a length of that. I probably should have stripped one end before, but we'll see if we can do it. Hopefully these strippers are set fine enough, which they are. So we'll twizzle that end together, fold it over, twist it again, and where's my solder? There we go. Just tin the end of that wire. Good, that's not formed a massive blob, so I've twisted it good enough. I may just actually tack that to the bottom of it. That may be a better idea. Yeah, I think I will. Rather than going through the hole, it just makes sense to do it onto the pad at the bottom, really. Which is easier said than done, if I'm going to be honest. It's sort of dangling mid-air and I can't get a good connection. There we go. So that's that one. Pink one, which I'll replace with red, goes to the bottom of the motor, so we'll learn my lesson. Strip this one if we can. I think the strippers need to be set a bit finer. It's I'm not liking that. Lock them back in place. These are Minotaur strippers, by the way. I just fancied some different ones, and the sort of ones you stick in the hole and then pull through. I like the sort of V-shaped ones a little bit better. I think that's far too fine, so we'll get the pliers instead and just go like that. Touch and go with them on whether they'll do SCART lead wire. But they are, for the other purposes I've used, very good. They are adjustable as well, so if you do one sort of wire size, you can just set it to that and off you go. So if you were wiring the entire layout with like 22 gauge wire or whatever, like I did on mine, I can't remember if it were 22 or not, you can just set it to one size and it will reliably strip it. So we want, how much length do we want? I'd say about there. We'll get these don't get used for anything, so you don't have to worry about like the metal rubbing on the metal and stripping them all out like that. In the bin. Solder again. That needs to come off here. Come on, come out. Out, that was quite hot. There we go. That red wire, we can have the shorter one. Where did that come from? Oh, it's there. We can see where the hole was uncovered. So we can have that red wire on there. Shouldn't really carry solder across the joint, but it'd be impossible to solder it properly. So I'll just do it like that for now. This black wire here. I could probably just replace 2 wires in here, but for whatever reason, if I want to go DCC in the future, which I won't, but just for the sake of putting them all on and connecting it properly, we will do it properly. And transfer everyone. There's no point doing half a job and leaving it looking half good, half terrible inside. Oh, I'm not going to be able to strip this now, am I? No. Because I can't pull it through. That's not worked. Right. Didn't learn my lesson, did I? Pull that end off. And then cut a bit off. Then strip it. I was hoping to get 3 engines done today, but because of the faffing we've had with Tornado and the pickups, we may only get 2 done. I don't know what the next one is, I'm just going along in my line. We're doing steamers first, by the way. That's not coming off, is it? We're doing steamers first. No, I can't get enough grip on it. Steamers first. And then diesels, although half my diesels I'm not going to bother with, because especially the Class 31, that runs fine, and I'm not faffing about with that again. That's an absolute pain. Tin that end. Good. Tin that end. That one goes on there. Good. Last one now, this tiny little red spindly wire. can go, I think it's the same gauge wire actually, good coincidence. Strip. Good, now we want the snips again. Reasonable length because we will be able to squish it inside the body shell. Those bits of wire can go away now, we don't need them. And I'll get these. The only reason I don't like stripping with cutters is because it is too easy to just cut the wire, but that went okay. Soldering the end of the wire, tinning the end of the wire I should say. That actually does need folding over first. By the way, for those of you who might be watching who are not experienced with soldering, this isn't smoke or burning. It's certainly not the solder evaporating, it's the flux, which just serves to clean the joint and help the solder easier. It's certainly not the solder boiling, it's just flux. Ah, that bit's soldered quite hot, never mind. So that's that done. So final red wire, all the same colours are sort of opposing each other on it, which is quite good. The only purpose I think this serves is to connect the capacitor, but we'll do it anyway. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, if we stick a battery on here now, it should still work. Can't get a connection. Yeah, it did work then, I don't know if you saw. In fact, if we just go onto the pickups, that might make more sense. Oh, that wasn't going, has it? I think that battery may be on its way out. Where's the other one? It did go. Because I saw it go. There, you can see it twitching anyway. So it just serves to connect the capacitor really. But I just thought I'd change it, because every time I open it up I think, God, this looks terrible inside. If I'm gonna be honest. So I thought I'd replace it. And the capacitor, yeah, might help with running. It sort of helps to reduce arcing on the brushes as well. Although this loco obviously isn't a terribly high current consumer like a Triang 31 or anything like that, because it is a CAN motor. Probably only a couple of 100 milliamps. It does just help, doesn't it? And it's interference suppression. You know, somebody's got an old radio next door and they're playing, I don't know, Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin didn't do radio, but whatever. Did he? I don't know. But if they're playing some on their old radio next door, we want them to be able to do it, so don't we? So we might as well add it. And I forgot to strip the end of that grey wire there. There we go. So let's get the capacitor soldered to. So those go to the capacitor, these ones go to the motor. So capacitor, the black one goes on the top, doesn't it? Again, shouldn't carry solder across the joint, but it's basically the only option I've got at the moment, because of how difficult it is to solder to. Red one on the bottom, as we said earlier. There, that's on. Now, black one, grey one, black one, whatever. It is grey with black streaks in it, so. That goes there. This one admittedly could be a bit small, but never mind. There we go, and then capacitor we can connect across there, which I'll turn around to do. I'm aware you probably, well, you definitely won't see it. But we'll get that soldered on there, and if this doesn't work now, I'm going to be very annoyed. It should work, because it's not like we can short anything, it's a capacitor, it's supposed to be placed across the power lines. I presume that's to stop them two touching or anything like that. Yeah, it will be. So that looks a little bit neater. Certainly aren't frayed wires all over the place, and the wires are slightly longer. Oh, that one's come off. We'll solder that on again. It does look a little bit neater. The wires are certainly a little bit longer, but they're not frayed and all looking horrible and melted, and yeah, it looks better. Certainly we'll have a lot more room now when working with the motor because they're not as short. Let's not stab the mat with the soldering iron, let's actually put it in. So we can probably put it on the layout now. I could turn around the camera to show you, but do I? Do I? Yeah, let's do it. One moment please, let's just put this camera on while I do it. Now you can see that, can't you? That's the towel, by the way, let's shift that. Does it work? Yes it does, although it's not railed properly. Why is it lent so far back? Oh, there we go. I don't think it was on the track properly. Yeah, it wasn't. There we go, it does work. You can probably see that flywheel. Yeah, that bit on the flywheel a bit better now, can't you? Yeah, it does work over the point. Slow as you like, it manages it, so that's good. Or it did. Try again, it may have just stalled. But it works. So that's all that matters. There we go, so we haven't nosed up wire in it or anything like that. That's good. So, I'll have to leave the camera on for this bit because I have to spin it around. And line it back up. Now you can see all the laptop and the gubbins up there. Let's try and line this up as best as we can. Don't know how easy that's going to be, it took me a while when I started the stream. Can we have it straight? Yeah, that'll have to do. Right, so Tornado, we just need to have a look at the motor now. And then we're done and give it a bit of an oil and all that jazz. Take the motor support off and we will have lots more room now. We've done a little bit of rewiring. We're not servicing Golden Eagle. Do we service Golden Eagle? I mean, she doesn't run because the tender plate's knackered, but I think she might be next in line actually. So we might do, although she hasn't run a lot since I last serviced her, but we will do just because it's a Ringfield and Ringfields are pleasant to service. She has run a little bit since. But yeah, the tender chassis needs replacing, doesn't it, as we've said before, so probably can't test her, or we can't because she won't run, but not properly anyway. So there we go, there's the motor. Nothing really needs doing in there, we just need to dribble a bit of oil in. We'll take that gear out, put some on that gear there. Put some on there. Slide the motor cover. in if we can. And put a bit on the worm gear as well. And hopefully we can just slide that in there. We get the motor in first and then that in. If I spin that, do the wheels turn? Yes, they do. So that's all meshing properly. Jolly good. Cap for the oil back on. Screwdriver. Motor mount. It just needs utching forward a little bit. I think it's always a pain to get in is this one. Oh, I think that actually went in then. That's not going in. Why? Let's back the other one off. Is it the wires? Oh yeah, it is. It was one of the wires was stuck. It's not in its special wire holding hole. Yeah, that works now. You silly Billy. I'll show you that in a second. If you will be able to see it, I think you will. Thankfully the wire didn't get pinched. There we go. So the issue was, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but just there's a little gap for the wires to go through, and it was just sort of where the motor mount is there, squishing it, so it didn't go back together. However, I think that is Tornado fully serviced. I'll wipe my hands before we put the body back on. Everything seems fine and dandy there. So let's pinch those wires there. I think the back might have to go in first. Does the back have to go in first? I think the back does have to go in first. Let's put the back in first. Front is now in. That's good. That's what I mean by the coupling not getting stuck. So rotate that out of the way. Put the front screw in. I think the screwdriver is magnetic. There we go. Screw that in. There we go, and that is Tornado, fully serviced. How long did it take? An hour and 20? Chuffing hell. Well, no, not an hour and 20. Taken us about an hour, hasn't it? Not bad. I'll just check if she still works on the layout. You've already seen it, and I'm not faffing with the camera again. Let's just make sure, or I'll make sure she still works. reach for the controller under the laptop as well. And yep, she works fine. She will need to be running at some point, but I won't do it on stream. Yeah, she seems to run fine. A bit of a funny noise going backwards. I reckon that might just need some running in. That's Tornado serviced. Now we do have an engine that doesn't work, so I won't do Golden Eagle because she'll take a lot longer than the 40 minutes we've got left to do the streaming. Flying Scotsman. So this didn't work. I think it broke down a few streams ago, didn't it? So I'll just check it on the layout now. I don't see why it would work. She jolted forward and stopped. About backwards. Intermittently working. Backwards. Yeah. It seems to be... Oh, she's going intermittently, but then she just stops. Whoa, turn that down a bit. Yeah, she's only working intermittently and then she just stops. Wow, she does smell as well. So we'll see what we can do. I need to remember how you actually take the damn thing apart. We're better off just removing this rear bogie. Pony truck. Pony truck? Trailing truck. Ponies at the front in 6 in a pony and cart. Ponies at the front. There's a hole in that you can get to that screw with, but it's so much of a pain. It's just easier to take one more screw out and get access to it like so. Oh, I didn't put the decoder or the coupling back in Tornado. That's poor. Let's do that now. She does still work with it, so it's obviously not making any connections, is it? Ah, rookie mistake. Let's do it while we are still here. Shouldn't take long at all. I don't get why she's making that funny noise in reverse. It may just be a factor of she needs running in. There we go, decoder in. It's not any of the wires there, nowhere near motor. She's in. Thought that were a spider that running across my desk. Then it was a screw. Right, that's Tornado now done. That's my phone, I just kicked off the desk. Why do I keep calling it a desk? It's a workbench. It sounds better if you call it a workbench. One moment, please. Now I've got it now. Put it back under there, just so I can monitor how the stream's coming through. Right, what's this doing? Didn't I just put the coupling back on? Is that from the tender? Oh, it's from the tender. Yeah, it is. No, that's Flying Scotsman's tender. Where's Tornado's tender? Oh, she's still up here. Right, coupling back in. Tornado now. Third time's the charm. Is fixed. Flying Scotsman, and I need to stop kicking the workbench. So it should just lift out. Oh. Yeah, it has actually just lifted out. Miracle. So I'm not quite sure what's happening. There's that bit of tape to stop that shorting. Oh, I think it may be actually be that. I think that may be all the problem is. It's probably rattled loose, hasn't it? Yeah, I think that were touching there, wasn't it? Anyway, we'll still give it the full service. That's what we're here to do. This is where getting the screw out here is annoying because of the magnet. That can come out. You can come out, and we'll desolder these wires because they are messy. That one's slightly burnt, so we might replace that one. I don't know if I really want to replace the wire from the pickups or not. That may just be tinnable and make it look slightly better. I think it's slightly too long, if anything. So if we just snip off the crappy bit, we may not have to completely redo all that. If it needs doing, I will. We solder you up, does that look alright? Yeah. Good, that looks fine. So, these wires from the bulb, I think I may have to just replace, because they look terrible. They're just all bits, and yeah. So we need to pull these plungers out of here. There's some orange plungers that need pulling out, and then there's a little bulb inside. And the wires are just stuffed in. Bulb wires are stuffed in, and then these wires are also stuffed in. They're not soldered, presumably, so it's easy to replace. So they are going. Will SCART lead wire be good enough for this, I'd imagine, so. So what will we do here? We need to strip a length. Oh, that went perfectly in the parts tray. Let's fish you out. And we'll probably fold it over itself a few times so it's big enough to fit in that hole. Just needs to push in and make a good enough connection. That is it's not an LED, that bulb, obviously. This been from the 1970s. But it shouldn't draw that much current that it's going to cause a SCART lead wire much problem. Right, we'll give that a solder. That should bridge, the solder should bridge the little bit of a gap there is there. Oh yeah, that's worked really well. That sounded sarcastic. Wasn't meant to be sarcastic. How much room do we need here? Let's give ourselves more than we need. I'd say about that much. That's red wire. It doesn't really matter the polarity, because no matter which way you solder, it's not an LED, it's not directional. No matter which way the current flows through that bulb, it will light. But I'll use a different colour. Albeit that not much of a different colour, because the first different colour I came to was brown. But here we go anyway. Rip a decent length off. Oh, I've just cut it off, never mind. That's why, yeah, I've cut it off. That's why I don't like stripping with those. It's too easy to just cut it off. Next colour I came to was purple, so we'll try with purple. Gently. Yes, there we go. That was better. So, same practice. Fold it over a few times and then solder. I'll snip that point a bit off. And hopefully these will now stuff into these holes. You can always melt them a bit and then stuff them in, because there is metal in it. And that means they're not likely to come out. If I do that. I do that. Or do I just take the thing out and solder it? Well, I could just solder it to the brass actually, couldn't I? think that is brass. Does brass solder? I think I've made that too thick now. Oh dear. I may not have actually needed to double that over. Let's see. Because those bulb wires are only very, very, very thin. So I may not have actually needed to after all. Oh well. Now I'm just trying to thin down this solder that's just pinged into one of the bits of insulation. Because I heard it. Proving to be rather difficult. Oh great, it's all just come off. Luckily the wire was longer than we needed anyway. Yeah, I just keep cutting it off. If I angle it more like that, there we go, that's better. So I will just solder this, but I'm not going to bother doubling or tripling it over. And that bit of brass wire just decided to jump out. So we'll get some solder on the end of you. Put you in there. In fact, I can double that over, can't I? If I solder it and then double it over, that's alright. So now we need to strip the ends of these. Sort of held in place by those plastic plungers. Oh, that's come off nicely. Great. That sounded sarcastic again, and it wasn't sarcastic. Let's tin the ends of these wires. We may actually be able to do Flying Scotsman. We've got 20 minutes to do it in. Maybe even be able to do one of the little 040s. I've just realised I didn't clean Tornado's wheels, did I? So we won't have time to do another. We'll have to clean Tornado's wheels. How can I forget to clean the wheels? That's a main part of servicing, you pillock. Solder sticking everywhere now. That's better. Right, so if I stick a 9-volt battery, because remember they can see up to 12 volts, does that lamp light? Doesn't matter which way the power is. Yes, little bulb lights. Can't really make it any more dark than that without diving under the bench, but we'll see if you can see it. Yeah, oh yeah, you can. That's actually quite bright. If I show you the firebox end, it's just a bit of yellow plastic. It's not making the best connection because it's just stuck onto the battery. Well, there you go. That light does work, so we have not completely nosed up. Quick motor service now. Really shouldn't take us all that long. Just a little XO3. No, it's an XO4 because it's got the felt pads. Brushes should just... Oh, there's too much solder on that. Let's take that off. Let's not melt the plastic. Brushes out. All good. Shift you. Get you out of the way. Clean the commutator. I said we may be cleaning commutators today, and we are. T-cuts. In we go. Do it this way round because I'm left-handed. Quite black is that commutator. So we'll get plenty of T-cut on it, give it a spin round. Get the brushes done with some T-cut as well. Give it all a good blob. We'll get the wire brush on that little spring in a minute because that does have to make contact with one of the brushes and it does look a little bit tarnished. So, oh no, I'll just use sandpaper actually because the rotary tool's all the way over there. So I won't bother, I'll just use sandpaper. It's, yeah, rotary tool for that might be a little bit overkill. It is a little bit overkill. That's looking lovely and shiny now. T-cut's definitely the best for cleaning commutators. Because it gets rid of scratches as it does on car paint work, and it does polish it up an absolute treat. That was nearly completely black before, and now it's like a mirror. That's wonderful. Try and get some of it off that's made its way onto the windings, but it's not going to make a difference. Just as long as it's not all gunked up on the commutator. Give it another spin against it. Tell me where you... Oh, you can actually see what I'm doing here, can't you? See how shiny that is? Look at that. That's brilliant. I haven't got a remagnetizer, so we don't need to faff about remagnetising. Well, it's hardly a faff, is it? But can't remagnetise because I don't have a remagnetizer. Let's just clean out under the commutator where lots of crap can end up getting. And I'm really happy with that commutator now. We'll get the very, very small flat braided screwdriver, and I will just scoop out any stuff that's got into the slots. Being very careful not to slip and scratch the commutator surface. Oh, there is actually quite a bit of muck in there. Just wipe it on the towel. The screwdriver definitely goes in the slots easier when it's been in once. So that way I know it's actually got some crap out. There we go. So that's the commutator slots cleaned. We did I think in a stream before, we did test to see if cleaning the commutator slots made a difference. I think we got the multimeter out and did a test, didn't we? One final polish of the commutator with the T-cut now we've been faffing around in the slots. And just to make sure we are absolutely clean. Again, snip the end of that cotton bud off so we don't get T-cut all over his hands. Not that it's like, I don't know, 2 mole of hydrochloric acid that's going to make it itch or whatever. Make sure to clean all the T-cut out of the slots, which does come out because it's just a liquid, it just gets carried along with the brushes, but carbon deposits may not. So let's get all the T-cut off, give it another quick polish. That commutator now looks like a mirror. Lovely, that's brilliant, is that? Right, so now that is the one that's been scratched up before, well, sandpapered before, because I can see it as. It looks shinier than the other one, so I know which way around the insulated brush goes, and also because that one's closer to it. So we'll just get a little bit of sandpaper, and well, I'm not going to tear a bit off because I always do that and end up just chucking it away. But we'll just rough up that to remove the tarnishing and to get a better connection onto the brush. That will do. Sandpaper back under the bench. Those brushes look fairly gnarly. Maybe time for some new ones soon, but we'll get a tiny spot of T-cut on them and just give them a clean. They do look fairly bad actually. Let's give them a nice bit of a clean. Better. That other one had a big bit of crap stuck on it. There we go. They look better now. Why did I just wipe that up with my finger? That was daft. Get that on there. Good. So now we'll get the brushes back in, so it doesn't really matter which way around they go. They've both had solder on them because of the light, so I can't really... Oh, I've mistaken them actually. I've sandpapered the wrong one. Yeah, I have, because that one's the insulated one, isn't it? So this is the one that's connected to the chassis. So I've sandpapered the wrong one. Unless... No, because if I spin it round again, will it? Nah. No, of course it won't. Dafty. Okay, that's looking shinier now. Spin it round, get you through there, bang you on there, get you on there, boom, line you up on the commutator, hold you, get the insulating sleeve on. If you lose the insulating sleeve, don't fret, you can just wrap a bit of insulating tape or a bit of wire insulation around it even. I wouldn't buy another one of them because people sell them for ridiculous prices. Yes, it looks original, but if you're, you know, there's no real need to do it like, because you're just wasting your money. That is a healthily spinning motor. And the other way. Yeah, that sounds like it's got plenty of life in it. Get the oil again. Some oil on the worm gear and some oil on the bearing where the worm gear is. Top up the felt pads with oil. Don't put any oil before, because people are tempted to put the oil there because there's a tiny little bit of metal sticking through there just before the commutator. I wouldn't recommend doing that because the likelihood is you'll just get it on the commutator and cock it up and ruin all your hard work that you've just spent getting that commutator mirror finish. And that felt oil reserve will get oil in there anyway, so there's no real need to do that. Some people do take the magnet out at the back and oil that bearing in there, but because this is an X04 not an X03, that felt oil reserve will get some in there anyway. So we'll not put some oil on that gear that's in there because we're going to be doing the pickups in a minute. Excuse me. So we'll make sure the motor can get in. Seat the motor in there. Put the screw in. That keeps snapping to the magnet. I think our O Bill got a bit of double O Bill, whatever you want to call him. Made himself a brass screwdriver. I think you could buy them, but they are quite expensive. I think he made one out of a bit of flattened brass tube and a wooden handle or something like that, which was a good idea. So now, solder that wire on there. This is quite a thick wire actually, it's quite difficult to bend. Solder that wire on there. Stick that wire on there as well, holding them both in place. Yeah, that looks much neater with those wires in as well. Just looks so much better. I think you'll agree. Only one wire to go on there. There we go. And because those old wires were really gnarly and these wires aren't, there's no chance of that purple wire there shorting on the metal chassis block there, which is what it was doing before. But because the wires aren't gnarly, there's no chance of that happening. And in fact, just to be extra sure, I'm going to shorten the end of that tin piece of wire, just to be absolutely 100% sure. And I'm going to fold it around the other way and solder it on like that. There we go. And I think you'll agree that looks much better than it did. So, quick test with the battery. I don't know if this battery will have enough oomph. It did spin then. Yeah, I don't think it has enough oomph. So we'll just test it on the track then when we've done the pickups, which shouldn't take long at all. Well, pickups and clean out the axles under here. Won't get the rotary tool on these wheels because when I first got it, when I first got the rotary tool, I did these wheels with it. Because it's just, you know, dirt that's got on since then. Oh, those pickups look fairly cacked up, so I don't think I'll have time to clean Tornado's wheels, so I'll have to do that next week. I'm not going to start doing stuff off camera because that's the whole point of these streams, so you see me service every engine until they're all done. I may even just leave the cameras out. Oh, I can't because I'll have to take my laptop back downstairs, but yeah. Downstairs as in back in my bedroom, not downstairs. So those pickups are nice and clean now. There's not loads of oil to mop up, there's just a tiny spot there. And it looks like the axles do need some fresh oil. So we'll put a spot down that hole, and some onto the gear. That'll seep its way down onto the axle as well. That's good. So pickup. Making sure the underneath of that pickup isn't shorting like it has done before, where the metal wire solders to it. We can whip this back in. Quickly clean the wheels on Flying Scotsman, and next week we will begin by cleaning the wheels on Tornado, because me, like an absolute fool, forgot to do them. A bit of teacups found its way onto there, onto the back, so we will clean that off. There we go. Get them all nice and tight. Not too tight though, obviously. So that's the pickups done. Before we put the body back on and think about doing the wheels, we shall put it on the track and see. It's going on the wrong way around because I couldn't bother to turn it around. Lazy, I know. Right, let's swizzle the camera. That's the wrong camera. That camera. There we go, and we'll see if it works. Please work. I think it was just that wire that was originally on there before we changed it was shorting, and now it doesn't work at all. Unless it just needs a bit of a hand to get going. That may be the case. There is a short because it's short in the controller. Where the short is though, I don't know. Is it that underneath the pickups again? I bet it is. I can't see anywhere else that it's shorting. Unless it just fixed itself. Oh, well that's odd. Oh, I saw a spat. Is it the linkages that are shorting? No, it doesn't look like it. Unless it just fixed itself. That'll be a bonus if it has. Seemingly so, it's managed to fix itself. Oh, well. Oh no. Oh no. The motor keeps stalling. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Now it's shorting. Is it the thing under the pickups? I think it might be. So I've been faffing around with them. Scooby says I'm back. Welcome back, Scooby. Just in time for the end of the stream. We'll give it a blast. Yeah, I might have to monitor that because it's running fine now. It must have just been. Oh, don't know. But it's running fine now, even if I give it a shake. The short doesn't come back. Maybe it was just a tiny little bit of metal got stuck in somewhere. But yeah, that seems to be fixed. There we go. The bulb works. I know you can't see that because the camera's not high enough, but it is working. It's just cut out there because I can see that the bulb's still lit. So it's just cut out there. So I'm relatively happy that that works. If that short comes back, I will monitor it. But for now, we do need to clean the wheels, and we've got 5 minutes left in which to do so. And as I've said, I will clean Tornado's wheels at the start of next stream. So we haven't got time to do it today, and I forgot because I'm a bit of a wally. Right, so let's get the camera repositioned. Try not to... Oh, wow, that reposition managed to get that looking alright, a lot quicker than I did last time. Will this camera show? No, probably not, so it will have to be this one. If I tilt it up there, yeah, you can see. You can see my pot of tea and all where my other stuff is there. So, slurp of tea. Perfect drinking temperature, that. Been a little bit hot, but say it were an hour and a bit ago I made that tea, it's still lovely and warm. So we'll get Scotty, and we'll just clamp it by the light box at the back. I'm not going to damage anything that way. Plenty of room to clamp it, it's not going to interfere with the wheels or anything like that. Slight bit of oil that's made its way through there, but that's fine. Give that a mop up. And now what we'll do is we'll get the crocodile clips and the temperature probe adapter. Oh, you can see my face. Let's kick that so you saw my chin. If I just do that momentarily while I get this, because otherwise it'll stay on there forever. There we go, you can see it now. So if I get my croc clips, when I said I was trying to keep the loft tidy, it's not looking tidy, it's in a state. I tend to just get things out and put them down. So the batteries probably won't give enough oomph to keep this motor turning under load while I'm cleaning the wheels. So oh god, you can... Why do I keep doing that? Whoops. Never mind. Scooby says, is the stream watchable after the end? Yes, it is. Need to be careful about that, because that's twice I've just done that. Let's not do that again. Be careful with showing your face on stream. But yeah, the stream is watchable after the end. They will always be available for replay. Anyone and everyone will be able to watch the streams for replay indeed. So yep, you can go back and rewatch if you would like. Does this turn now? Yes, it does, albeit not very fast for whatever reason. Is that brush making a bad connection? It may just be because the resistance of the crocodile clips. Because that's on full whack, but it's not barely moving. Unless I just clip it onto here instead. Nah, that don't make a difference. I think the resistance of the crocodile leads is doing this. That was a bit better. Well, that's on full whack. Should be enough though. So we'll get the wheels cleaned. I think it is the crocodile leads that are doing this. It is slowly speeding up though, so the motor just must just be running in. There we go, it's up to speed now. Now it's had a little tiny bit of chance to run in. That's good, is that? T-cut on, polish, make sure to do the flange in the back of the wheel. And I'll keep it going this fast. I wouldn't normally run it this fast on track, but just to give it a chance to run in, and because I am putting quite a bit of pressure on, it should slow it down. I will keep it running at this speed. Don't really need to do the middle wheel because it doesn't touch the track, but it's still good to do it thoroughly. Back of the wheels on this side aren't so much as important because they don't have pickups on, but the ones on this side closest to me are. So, teacups, we need to be very careful not to get it in the spokes, because that is a pain. Teacup there, a little bit on that middle wheel, although it's not as important. Give it a polish. Back to the wheels, which admittedly you can see better than me. Well, no you can't actually, but never mind. back to the wheels, and that will transfer some T-cut onto the pickups as well, which will help to clean them further. A lot of dirt coming off. Filthy. I think we're nearly done. I may stand up to do this because now the camera's pointing that way, you won't be able to see my face, which is good. You know, I may get the rotary tool on them because there's way more dirt coming off than I thought. I'll turn it down because we will have the rotary tool on it as well. I'm going to get the rotary tool on that because they are absolutely filthy. I had no clue how they've got that dirty. There is a tiny little bit left on the wire wheel, the brass wire wheel. Look, I do need to order myself another one, but there should be enough left just to do this bit. So we'll be quick. So get that in there, tighten that. Where's my collet spanner, chuck spanner, whatever, tool spanner, and we'll get the rotary tool on the backs of the wheels. We won't do it on the surfaces that touch the track because they are clean, they're fine. It's just the backs of the wheels on both sides that are filthy. So here we go. Let's do it this way instead, actually, then we're not going to damage the paintwork. Definitely do not want to hit the... Definitely do not want to hit the cog with this, the gear, because that will be bad. Skip out the middle one. I'll stand up to do this bit. Oh, I keep shorting the chassis out with my brush because I'm touching the pickup side to the chassis, which is metal. So just keep shorting, just be careful of that. There we go. So because obviously the brass wheel doesn't stay perfectly clean, I will T-cut the back of the wheels again because obviously the brass wheel will pick up dirt. So I will T-cut the back of the wheels just to get any dirt that's been transferred from the wire brush. I've just flicked T-cut on my cheek. Get that off. And we'll just dry off the backs of the wheels. The power needs turning up because I turned it down. There we go. Lovely effect of the bulb coming through down here. In fact, I think that's why they've cut a slot. There's a slot in the bottom of the light box, and I presume that's because it can shine down onto the track like a real loco fire would, and you'll be able to see it, but of course it's not that bright. But they have still cut a slot for that to happen, so that's I think quite good. Scooby says, I managed to pick up the exact same tail vise you are using second-hand from a tool shop for a tenner recently. Good piece of kit. It is indeed. This one was from Lidl. I didn't buy it. I think it was my dad's that I nicked out of his shed, but he never used it. So I do now. It's good for, you know, just holding a loco in place like this. I may try some WD-40 now. Just, oh, and knocks the clock clips there. I may try some WD-40 now just to get the last few bits of stuff off. I know people say don't use WD-40, but these are metal wheels, so I find it good just for getting that last bit of stubborn muck off. I may be here forever doing these wheels, so I'll just get them as clean as I can. Remember to dry the back of the wheels as well, because WD-40 doesn't evaporate. Not completely anyway, because it's a lubricant. It'd be a pretty crap lubricant if it evaporated. I think that's as clean as they're going to get, you think. I know. You think. I think. Because they work perfectly fine. You know. Oh god, it's... What's going on here? Shorted? Oh yeah, there's smoke. Oh, that's because it's touching the chassis. Right, let's just bend that away. Is that going to work? Oh god, I'm knocking the camera all over the place. Yeah. Just because that pickup was touching the chassis, I accidentally bent it with a cotton bud. Anyway, as I was saying, I think these are the cleanest these are going to get. I'm not, you know, I've been cleaning them for a good 10 minutes now, and there's still dirt coming off them. And they are working perfectly fine before I started servicing the pickups. It was just that short inside that I talked about earlier. So they look clean to me. Like if I stop it now, they look nice and shiny. There's just obviously that ingrained dirt that just keeps coming off. So I think I'm going to stop it there. I'm pretty satisfied with how clean they are. And to be honest, I don't think it is going to get much cleaner. Unless I start using sandpaper and stuff on it, which I really don't want to do. I'm happy with how clean that is at the moment. So I'll just assemble it and we'll sign off for the stream. I'll get there is sort of fluid all over my bench, so I'll just clean it up with a towel. There we go. I'm aware we haven't managed to do the tender, but we will do that next week. We've sort of had other matters on hand, haven't we? That has gone in nicely. The wires aren't obstructing anything. That is good. That screw can go in the back now. Make sure to line that up nicely. Let's not screw it in too tight. Just enough. And finally, the trailing truck. And I will clean the other wheels on this next week. Because it's nearly 6:10. I've run over slightly. Not to worry. Tea's not ready anyway. I just, you know, don't want to be up here all evening. And, you know, sometimes these streams can be a little bit long. And I did do 2 last weekend. So there we go, Flying Scotsman, pretty much service, just needs the pony and the leading truck wheels cleaning. And I will do that next week, as I will do with Tornado's other wheels as well. Other wheels, well yeah, because I did the tender, as I will do with Tornado's wheels. Let's get Flying Scotsman railed, and we'll see how she works now. Oh, by the way, I'll show you it when I take it off the track. Oh, it's not even railed properly. There we go, that's better. Yeah, she did a terrible job at railing that, hasn't I? A really terrible job at railing that. There we go, she's on. She will need a period of running in, obviously, every time you service it. Does need running in again. I think she's running actually the wrong way. So, I don't know how she's running the wrong way. But reverse is forwards and forwards is backwards. I've still got the wires mixed up, so I'll change them round next week, that's not a problem. But she does need a period of running in, as does Tornado, as does every other engine I service, but she does seem to be running fine at the moment. So there we go, that's Flying Scotsman pretty much nearly serviced. Lovely. Schwizzle, oh god, the camera base is on camera. So that is the Flying Scotsman serviced. The slot I was on about for the light is... oh, you can't see it now, I've put the bogey on. I'll take it off just so you can see. At least I know now in the engines that I've serviced nothing can go wrong. That slot there is at the bottom of the light box and it shines through. If I put a battery on the wheels, you should be able to see it. Is it lighting up? I don't think this battery's hardly got any power in it. No, it hasn't. What about the other one? Anyway, when it's on the track, that lights up. You'll be able to see it if I do that. When it's on the track, that lights up. I think you can just see a tiny little glimmer. And that should shine down onto the track, but I can't say I've noticed it until I realised there was a slot in the bottom of it. But anyway, so today we have managed to service Flying Scotsman and Tornado. Tornado just needs the rest of her wheels cleaning. Flying Scotsman needs the tender looking at and the rest of her unpowered wheels cleaning as well. But I think that's alright progress. We've managed to do two big engines, two engines that do sometimes take quite a lot of time to fix. And I think we've managed to do alright today. So obviously we've got like 304 rows to service, which will take hardly any time at all. But I think we have actually managed to do okay with that. I'm happy with what we've done, and I'm happy with the progress we've made, and all the engines that I have serviced still work after I've serviced them, so that obviously is a bonus as well. So I think I will wrap the stream up there on nearly finishing servicing Flying Scotsman. But yeah, I have very much enjoyed that, and we will be back next week. So to end the stream, I would just like to say thank you everyone for joining me for today's live stream. It really has been wonderful to see you all here today, and thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed watching the stream as much as I've had running it. It's been nice to do a change and been at the servicing bench today for a change. And as I always say, these weekly streams really are one of my favourite types of content to produce and make. I'll hopefully see you the same time next week on Saturday. Now, I know today's been on Sunday, but I was out yesterday, so that's why we've done the stream today on Sunday instead of Saturday. But we should be back to normal time next week at 4:15, of course, the usual time. In the meantime, I would just like to say thank you all very much once again for joining this evening. Do take care of yourselves, enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening/night, and I will see you Saturday 4:15 next week, where we'll be continuing servicing all of these locos. Thank you very much for watching indeed, and I will see you next week.